before humans gave names to the vast forests, before maps drew the boundaries of the wild world. There existed a land where life followed ancient, unforgiving, and deeply captivating laws. The creatures that survived did not do so through strength, but through instinct, patience, and strategies that humans still cannot fully understand. A wild world, cold, yet full of power. Canada. Welcome to Wild Canada, the frozen kingdom of giants that rule nature. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to motivate us to create more high-quality content. Don't forget to comment your thoughts below so we can discuss together. Let's begin. In this vast land covered in ice and snow, everything is a challenge. The cold cuts the skin like a blade. The wind howls incessantly, and a terrifying silence is only interrupted by the roar of its supreme sovereigns. Life is not easy. Dense forests and endless prairies become relentless battlefields. The strong survive, and the weak retreat. Welcome to Canada, the kingdom of the dominant giants. Every corner of Canada whispers to us about the power of a force superior to all, the infinite creativity that only God can bestow. With a surface area of more than 10 million square kilometers, Canada is the second largest country in the world, a vast stretch of land where life seems to have no end. God not only blessed this land with spectacular landscapes, but also granted more than 80,000 species of living beings to create an eternal natural symphony. The beaver is Canada's official national animal, while the Canadian horse is recognized as a cherished national symbol and heritage breed. This land is the home of giants, recognized not only for their size, but for their strength and will to survive. From the orca gliding over the Pacific waves to the caribou migrating through the Arctic ice, everything works in perfect balance. This is the dream destination for any nature lover. Looking at the majestic Rocky Mountains covered in white snow, we cannot help but feel our own insignificance before the power of creation. In the Appalachians, ancient mountains and rivers meander through the wilderness. They have never stopped flowing. These forests are not only refuges for wildlife, but also ideal destinations for those seeking quietude and a connection with nature. In the eternal cold of the Arctic tundra, life is extreme. The polar bear must swim tens of kilometers through the sea ice to stalk its prey in the freezing cold. Before us lie the Great Lakes, the largest freshwater system in the world, containing 20% of the planet's surface freshwater. Lake Superior, nicknamed the Giant of the Lakes, has preserved the purity of nature for millennia. The other 4 Great Lakes are Huron, Michigan, Erie, and Ontario, forming a natural labyrinth of hundreds of islands, dense forests and golden sands. Thanks to the St. Lawrence River, Lake Ontario becomes a vital artery connecting the interior of North America with the Atlantic Ocean. The Great Lakes are home to thousands of species of flora and fauna. The role of this lake system is not limited to ecology, but spans economy and culture. Coastal communities have long depended on them to survive. From fishing to trade, the harmony between man and nature remains a profound bond. It is March, and light has returned to the high Arctic, sweeping away 4 months of darkness. A polar bear moves slightly, having spent the entire winter in its den. The appearance of the polar bear marks the beginning of spring. After months hidden underground, it slides down a frozen slope, perhaps to clean its fur, or simply for the pure pleasure of the moment. The bear's fur is not as white as we think. It is actually transparent and reflects sunlight. Under that 15-centimeter thick layer of camouflage, its black skin absorbs every precious ray of light in this frigid land. For the first time, 2 cubs look at the radiant new world around them while standing on a snow-covered slope. The mother calls to them, but this steep hill is not an easy place to take their first steps. However, they are hungry and eager to reunite with their mother, who now lures them with the promise of milk. This is the only source of food the little ones have known since they were born blind and deaf under the snow about 2 months ago. This journey toward maturity will last more than 2 years as the mother teaches them to hunt and survive. During this time, she will never stop moving, sometimes traveling hundreds of kilometers to find food. Even though her own energy is being depleted, the mother has not eaten anything in the last 5 months and has lost half of her body weight. Now she transforms her last reserves of fat into milk for her young. With a length of up to 2.5 meters and a weight of about 700 kilograms, the polar bear is the largest land carnivore in the world. But its colossal size is not the only thing that makes it the symbol of the Arctic. To survive in one of the most hostile environments on the planet, the polar bear has been endowed with extraordinary capabilities. In each hesitant step of the cubs, and in the phenomenal resilience of the mother, the hand of the Creator is clearly seen, as life is given the strength to flourish even amidst the harshest ice. The spring sun brings warmth, but also concern for the mother. As the temperature begins to melt the sea ice, she must reach her hunting grounds for seals before the ice disappears. However, for now, the temperature remains at -30 degrees, and the cubs must stay sheltered in the den. At this time of year, on average, a polar bear only succeeds in 1 out of every 20 hunts. This hungry predator needs energy to survive, but more importantly, it has 2 little ones waiting in the shelter. Exhaustion does not allow for prolonged hunts, so all she can do is keep trying. The polar bear's vision is excellent. Even in the dark, it can detect prey such as seals from a distance of up to 1.6 kilometers, or under a layer of snow nearly a meter thick. To prevent her body odor from giving her away, the mother moves in a wide circle, always approaching from the direction of the wind. She's close, right behind her prey, and incredibly, she catches a seal under the water. Although small, the seal's fat contains 100,000 calories, which is enough to feed the bear for a week until she can hunt again. But this cannot last forever. As summer progresses and temperatures rise, each hunt requires more energy, further exhausting the bear's reserves. While these bears can run at speeds up to 40 kilometers per hour, they usually walk at 5.5 kilometers per hour to navigate the increasingly fragile sea ice. During this time, polar bears demonstrate their expert skills. Although not as agile as seals, they are excellent swimmers and can move at speeds up to 6 kilometers per hour. There are days when they cross vast regions of the ocean just to find an ice floe firm enough to rest on. Sometimes days go by without finding prey, and hunger increases with every step. On their journey, they also face threats from larger bears that may attack to steal their food. On the surface of this seemingly eternal layer of ice, there exists an enemy against which the polar bear cannot fight: climate change. The surface area of sea ice has decreased by more than 40% in the last 40 years, making hunting increasingly difficult. It is heartbreaking to hear of an exhausted bear that swam more than 657 kilometers continuously to find a piece of ice large enough to rest. In this battle, the price is its very survival. Even in the midst of the brutal challenges of a changing world, the perseverance of the polar bear is a reminder that God has placed an astonishingly strong will to survive in all species. When autumn arrives, ice blocks begin to form again in Hudson Bay, and the bears usually congregate in Churchill. This is the decisive moment, and time is not on their side. The hunting season only lasts a few months, so they must accumulate enough fat to survive the long winter. The struggle for survival becomes fiercer than ever as the polar bear dominates the land where life seems impossible. Most polar bears are active year-round and usually sleep an average of 8 hours a day. Hibernation only occurs in pregnant females. After a snowstorm, they need to rest for a few hours or even days. The mother and cubs sleep on slopes where they can better detect any approaching bears. Adult males, having less risk of being attacked, can sleep anywhere. Confrontations between bears, besides food theft, also involve territorial disputes or competition for mates. In the endless snowfields of the Arctic, when the polar bear moves away from its prey, a small but cunning figure often appears in the distance. The Arctic fox, silent and opportunistic, takes every occasion to survive by carefully following the tracks of the king of the ice. The bond between the strong and the cunning is not one of confrontation, but a delicate relationship of dependence. The small Arctic fox weighs between 3 and 9 kilograms and measures about 50 centimeters. It does not have the necessary strength to directly face a seal or large prey, so agility and intelligence are its keys to survival. The Arctic fox usually follows the polar bear to scavenge the remains of its prey. The bear usually tolerates it, but will attack if the fox gets too close while it is eating. The Arctic fox was created to blend perfectly into the extreme environment of the Arctic. Despite this, it is surprising how it can withstand temperature differences of up to 100 degrees between the outside environment and its internal body temperature. To avoid heat loss, they curl up carefully, hiding their paws and head under their body and furry tail. Although the Arctic fox is active year-round and does not hibernate, it reduces its activity to conserve fat. In autumn, it eats intensely to accumulate fat, sometimes increasing its body weight by more than 50%. The thicker the fat layer, the better the insulation in winter and the greater the energy reserves when food is scarce. Its dense, double-layered fur is a masterpiece of biology. The long, snow-white outer layer in winter provides perfect camouflage. The short, soft inner layer helps it stay warm, allowing it to survive temperatures as low as -50 degrees. It is notable that in summer, its fur changes to brownish-grey tones, helping it blend into the rocky and ice-free landscape. This change is not only strategic, but also an impressive testimony to the capacity for adaptation granted by nature. The Creator not only gave strength to the great, but also wisdom to small beings. But the fox does not only have special fur, it possesses extraordinary senses, especially hearing. Although its ears are relatively small, it can detect prey with impressive precision, even deep under the snow. In the middle of the Canadian winter, a young Arctic fox searches for food. This inexperienced juvenile faces a major challenge. He cannot see his prey. He listens carefully to a small sound under the snow, a lemming. To catch it, he uses a special jumping technique called a pounce, which requires calculating the distance and snow depth with precision. While this is a vital skill, the movement is not always easy, especially for a beginner, and in the end, a plump lemming fails to escape. Persisting through the harsh winter, the breeding season for the Arctic fox begins in spring, when the weather is slightly warmer and food is abundant. A female can give birth to 5 to 15 cubs, the largest number of any fox species, ensuring that at least some survive in such extreme conditions. Unlike the polar bear, fox cubs begin learning to hunt from their mother after only a few weeks, developing the agility and cunning necessary to survive. Adaptation remains an essential quality in a world that changes constantly. Leaving behind the silent tracks of the Arctic fox in the snow, we arrive at the vaster rhythm of the tundra, where hundreds of thousands of caribou cross the frozen fields of the far north. Their bodies are covered by the winter frost as they move forward with determination. This is not just a migration, but a majestic symphony of life and survival, where nature and animals intertwine in an eternal rhythm. The caribou's journey is one of the longest and most challenging migrations on Earth. Every year, they travel more than 5,000 kilometers, crossing frigid and hostile lands to find food and breeding grounds. This great migration makes one marvel at the Creator, who has given the caribou the endurance, navigational instinct, and energy to overcome distances that seem impossible. Along the way, they face snowstorms, relentless glacial rivers, and predators like the grey wolf, but the instinct for survival forces them to keep going. The caribou's body is perfectly designed for this adventure. The double-layered fur with hollow hairs protects them from the cold and helps them float when crossing frozen rivers. Long legs with wide hooves allow them to walk over deep snow without sinking. The herd leaders, usually highly experienced adult females, guide the group through traditional routes. They search for lichens, a type of nutrient-rich plant that grows under the thick layer of snow. The caribou has the ability to smell lichens from very far away. With each strong movement of the snout, they expose the precious food source for the entire herd. The Arctic winter is an extreme test. Temperatures can drop to -50 degrees, and daylight lasts only a few hours. Surviving in these conditions requires not only strength, but unwavering endurance. The caribou never stops for long. Even while resting, its large ears remain alert, listening for any sound that might reveal the presence of the grey wolf. A surprise attack can split the herd, leaving the youngest or weakest as easy prey. However, today, no threat is seen. In other places in the world, when winter arrives, people speak of Santa Claus and his sleigh pulled by magical caribou. But in the Arctic, that story has a more real and vibrant meaning. The caribou is not just a symbol of perseverance, but the embodiment of nature's miracles, capable of overcoming the impossible. As the herd moves through these frozen lands, it carries with it a deep link between myth and reality. When winter gives way to spring, the caribou's journey still does not end. They continue toward the summer grasslands, where new calves will be born. These small caribou will learn to stand up and follow the herd quickly. Life in the wild does not wait for stragglers, and so the caribou migration continues, an adventure engraved not only in the ice, but in the hearts of those who admire the miracles of nature. Northern Canada is not only a land of ice, auroras and caribou, but also a place where ancient legends resonate in every breath of the cold wind. Indigenous peoples like the Inuit, Dene and Gwich'in have inhabited this land for millennia, living as spirits closely linked to Mother Earth. In the place where winter seems eternal, the Inuit have built their lives with what nature offers them, such as igloos made of snow and ice. In the dim light of the Arctic, an igloo glows like a lit candle in the midden of the immense cold. In ancient stories, the polar bear Nanook is revered as the god of ice. They say Nanook is the messenger of heaven and earth, sent to teach us perseverance and respect for nature. When an Inuit hunts a polar bear, they express gratitude through prayer and perform solemn ceremonies. They believe the bear's spirit will be reborn in another form, returning to continue protecting this land. Indigenous peoples do not just live off nature, but live with nature. In their world, everything has a spirit, from the highest mountain to the smallest snowflake. Life does not end with the death of a being, but transforms into another state, continuing the eternal cycle of heaven and earth. In the coldest and most hostile places, they have found warmth in faith and deep respect toward Mother Earth. The northern ice continues to challenge all natural laws as the pulse of wildlife and the song of wolf packs resonate in the night. For the Arctic wolf, each step leaves an indelible mark on the snow and ice. Unlike the solitary puma, the Arctic wolf lives in packs. Each pack has 6 to 20 individuals led by an alpha pair composed of a male and a female. Each member has a specific role, such as hunting, protecting territory, or caring for the young. Studies have indicated that the Arctic wolf's howl can be heard from distances of up to 16 kilometers, which is a survival tool used to communicate or warn of intruders. The Arctic wolf is not simply a predator. Each hunt is carefully coordinated with precise strategies. Weighing between 35 and 45 kilograms, its body is very agile, and its long legs allow it to run fast over deep snow without sinking. Its yellow eyes glow as they follow every movement of the prey in the vast white landscape. The long Arctic nights bring with them a voracious hunger. At this time, the Arctic hare becomes their main food source. Herds of hundreds of hares move at vertiginous speeds to seek safety in numbers. The wolves take every opportunity to attack, even if they only get a tuft of white fur under their claws. But the cunning of the hares often makes their efforts vanish. Even when they catch one, the reward is very small and barely serves to calm the pack's hunger. On some nights, the wolves must accept that they are not the winners. The long Arctic nights and the struggle for survival continue until one side gives in. Only 1 in 10 Arctic wolf hunts ends in success, and every failure means prolonged hunger. Even in the most hostile lands, solidarity and will are the keys to survival. A famous story tells how a pack of Arctic wolves saved a member injured in a fight against a group of adult caribou. Instead of abandoning it, they shared food and protected it from other predators. By doing so, they helped the wolf recover and return to its position in the pack. As night falls, the Arctic wolf pack returns to roam the frozen fields, for life will never be extinguished as long as the bond and determination to overcome all challenges exist. While orcas hunt with perfect coordination under the sea, deep in the northern forests, another silhouette moves in silence. The black bear, a master of discreet adaptation. The black bear, smaller and more reserved than its relatives, is extremely agile and adapts perfectly to any environment it inhabits. Unlike the robust grizzly bear, the black bear usually avoids confrontations. It chooses the path of stealth and cunning, using its agility and curiosity to survive. With an average weight of 70 to 270 kilograms and a length of 1.5 to 2 meters, its size allows it to hide easily in the forest and move with flexibility when necessary. In the boreal forest, the black bear finds everything it needs. Crystal clear streams, dense vegetation for refuge, and salmon, an abundant food source. It is a true omnivore with a varied diet composed of about 80% plants. This diet consists of berries, nuts, and tender shoots, while the remaining 20% comes from animal sources like insects, small fish, and carrion. Throughout the summer, when the forest is full of berries, the black bear spends most of its time on low branches. It is an expert climber, Its flexible hind legs and sharp claws help it grip firmly to slippery trunks. These days are vital for accumulating energy, as every sweet berry it consumes becomes a living battery preparing it for winter. In autumn, its appetite increases. A black bear can consume up to 20,000 calories daily to accumulate the thick layer of fat needed to survive the winter. When the cold arrives, it seeks refuge in caves or large tree hollows to hibernate. Unlike the grizzly, the black bear does not enter a state of complete hibernation. Its body temperature only drops slightly, allowing it to wake up if it feels threatened. This important adaptation helps it react to unexpected dangers. The black bear has survived millions of years of evolution thanks to its flexibility and unmatched capacity for adaptation. It does not seek confrontation, but it does not flee from danger either. When the sun sets behind the tall trees, the black bear walks silently. Its figure blends with the night, but the tracks it leaves are testimony to its presence. This forest is home to some of the most powerful and mysterious creatures in the natural world. The journey now takes us further north, to a part of Canada that reveals a completely different world where heaven and earth blend in wild and majestic beauty. Northern Canada is home to the imposing Mackenzie Mountains, eternal glaciers, and the vast landscape of the tundra. Here, time seems to stop. Every block of ice and every mountain tells stories from thousands of years ago, serving as a testimony to the eternity of nature. We cannot help but be amazed by this eternity, feeling the presence of a supreme being who created this world in perfect balance and with absolute power. In the long Arctic nights, the dark velvet sky is illuminated by a surreal phenomenon, the aurora borealis. Bands of green, purple and red light intertwine, spin and dance in the sky like a magical performance that seems not to belong to this world. Scientifically, the aurora borealis is an impressive natural phenomenon that occurs when charged particles from the solar wind collide with the Earth's magnetic field. People from all over the planet come to witness this celestial fascination, a dance of mystical light that is truly indescribable. When summer arrives, the Arctic receives another equally unique phenomenon, the midnight sun. For consecutive weeks, the sun never sets, turning the day into an infinite loop of light. Imagine being on top of Mackenzie Mountain, admiring the tundra stretching to the horizon. The clock marks midnight, but the sky remains radiant with golden and orange tones. Indigenous peoples like the Inuit or Dene have lived in harmony with this unique rhythm for thousands of years. For them, the midnight sun is the symbol of eternal life. Even in the most extreme land, light is always present, bringing hope and faith. The misty sky of the boreal forest seems covered by a dense veil of fog. Pines and firs stand tall and silent, guarding an immense and serene space. This is the green lung of Canada. In this solemn atmosphere, even the smallest sound, a branch breaking or the crunch of snow, comes to life. From afar, a colossal figure appears slowly between the trees, moving slowly but surely. It is the moose. This creature's size makes it the undisputed giant of the deer family. It is the second largest animal in North America, with a height of up to 2.1 meters at the shoulder and a weight of up to 700 kilograms. Many describe it as an ancient god emerging from the legends of this frozen land. Its massive body, majestic antlers, and silent endurance make the forest seem like a cathedral of creation, where the power of God is present in every breath of life. The boreal forest is the largest forest system in the world. This place is not only the home of the moose, but also a refuge for extraordinary biodiversity. Birds sing among the high canopies, while the Canadian lynx stalks silently under the canopy. However, the moose, with its huge body and majestic antlers, is the undisputed protagonist of this landscape. Its antlers are not just decorative. With a span of up to 2 meters, they're like a crown granted by the Creator, powerful and symbolic at the same time. The sound of clashing antlers echoes through the forest like an ancient bell announcing the arrival of the mating season. Males face off in battles, displaying their weapons to assert their dominance. When winter arrives, the boreal forest transforms into another world. The temperature drops drastically, and most small beings seek refuge in dens. But the moose, with nowhere to hide, faces the winter like a silent warrior. With its long legs, it crosses deep snow, digging to find branches and tree bark to stay alive. The moose is an inhabitant of both the water and the forest. In summer, it can spend many hours in marshy areas eating aquatic plants. These plants are a vital source of salt and minerals. However, in winter, when everything is scarce, every step in search of food becomes an adventure full of risks, as hunger always stalks. An adult moose has few natural enemies. However, this does not guarantee the safety of the young or the old and weak. Predators always lurk, watching from afar. All they need to do is attack the moose's snout, as the pain can paralyze even a giant. The moose represents approximately 15% of the annual energy intake of brown bears and wolves. But today, the predators will not have an opportunity. Instinct awakens and the moose flees. It can reach speeds of up to 56 kilometers per hour. Water is also no obstacle, as the moose is an excellent swimmer. It can swim continuously for many hours, and reach speeds of about 8 kilometers per hour underwater. The moose wins not through aggressiveness, but through an adaptation perfected over millions of years. In reality, its flight reaction is not just instinct, but a learned behavior. Its sharp sense of smell allows it to detect predators from very far away. The moose continues its slow but majestic path, dominating its northern kingdom. In the vast wild stretches of the boreal forest in northern Canada, endless rows of trees rise under the frigid sky. The legendary grizzly bear appears as a symbol of strength and unbreakable vitality. The grizzly is a true giant. Although its size is smaller than that of the polar bear, the grizzly is much more aggressive. Even a polar bear might have to yield in a direct confrontation. The majesty of the grizzly in the forests, prairies and mountains has inspired immortal legends in the culture of indigenous tribes. They say that when you encounter a grizzly, you are not just in front of an animal, but before the spirit of the land it protects. In the ancient stories of tribes like the Blackfoot or Cree, the grizzly is seen as the embodiment of divine power. Warriors used to wear bear claws, believing they would grant them invincibility. In the grizzly, fierce power and the instinct to protect life unite, as if the Creator himself had engraved on this creature the image of power, courage, and an unbreakable will. When the grizzly moves through the forest, everything seems to slow down. Each step creates a heavy but majestic sound. Its greyish fur with brown touches shines under the sun. In spring, when the snow melts and the forest awakens, the grizzly emerges from its den after a long period of hibernation of almost 6 months. Voracious hunger urges it to begin the search for food. As a supreme omnivore, it consumes almost anything, even non-meat foods. Its strong jaws can crush leathery plants with ease, and its long, sharp claws dig for insects, roots, and shelled animals. The grizzly is a formidable hunter with speeds up to 56 kilometers per hour. Even adult deer or caribou have few chances of escaping. Its claws, reaching up to 10 centimeters, are strong enough to tear its prey in an instant. In the middle of the wild landscape, a herd of deer guides its fawns, who are still staggering in their first contact with a world full of challenges. These small creatures closely follow their mother, learning everything necessary to survive, especially how to deal with predators like the grizzly. A fawn that is not agile enough to flee will become an attractive target. If the grizzly is lucky enough to get close, dinner will be guaranteed. The grizzly always lurks, tirelessly searching for any food source. It eats everything from grass to nutritious salmon roe. A strong stomach is only part of the reason why this predator reaches impressive sizes of up to 360 kilograms. In fish-rich areas, they can be even larger. When the salmon return to spawn, they transform the rivers into a waterfall of teeming life. This is the moment the grizzly looks forward to most. Large and small bears gather in these waters, as a river full of salmon is an invaluable opportunity for the bear to accumulate energy for the harsh winter. In the coming weeks, a mother bear can consume up to 100 kilograms of salmon, doubling her body weight and accumulating essential fat reserves. On the shore, the cubs make their first attempt at salmon fishing. Curious, they turn over stones looking for salmon eggs. To survive the winter, they must learn to catch larger fish by watching their mother. However, it is not as easy as it seems. The mother must teach them this skill before the salmon season ends, because time is not on their side. The salmon migration will soon end, and each fish caught increases the cubs' chances of survival in winter. But fishing is not the only concern. Large males roaming the riverbank have no interest in the young and will kill the cubs if they cross their path. To eat safely, the mother bear guides her children to the protection of the dense forest. The secret lies here. The salmon not only feeds the bear, but nourishes the entire forest. Leaving the territory of the grizzly, the journey enters a higher and more extreme world, the Rocky Mountains. The snowy peaks rise majestically, blending with the deep blue sky, while enormous glacial lakes shine like mirrors under the sun. This mountain range stands out not only for its grand beauty, but for being a refuge for amazing biodiversity. Between the rugged cliffs and silent hunts, the Rockies appear as a majestic work of the Creator. Here, every creature has been endowed with the exact capacity needed to exist in its hostile world. Thousands of species of animals call the Rockies home. Here, the moose grazes peacefully beside frozen lakes, while packs of wolves silently follow the trail of their prey. And in the shadows of the dense pine forests, the most mystical predator hides, the puma. The puma is one of the most feared predators of the Rocky Mountains. With an agile but powerful body, it can measure up to 2.4 meters, including the tail, and weigh between 50 and 100 kilograms. However, weight does not affect its extraordinary speed and dexterity. The puma can run at speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour over short distances and perform jumps of up to 12 meters over jagged rocks and dangerous canyons. It is a solitary hunter, active primarily at night or at dusk. With a keen sense of smell and hearing, it has the ability to detect prey from hundreds of meters away. Its diet includes deer, moose, and sometimes smaller prey like grouse or hares. In the vast space of the Rockies, territory is the most precious asset for a female puma. A wide enough hunting area not only guarantees a stable food source, but also a safe place to raise her young. However, territory is not always a peaceful refuge. Upon returning home, tension increases as two adult predators face off. This area is not large enough for both to coexist. The mother puma returns to reclaim what she considers hers. This is where she grew up, and she is willing to fight for it. The two females launch into a fierce battle, where a single moment of distraction decides the fate of one of them. Violent confrontations like this between females are extremely rare, but for the safety of her young, a mother puma does not back down. Outmatched, the intruder has been defeated, and this place is no longer safe for her. The mother puma, although victorious, has paid a price. Wounded and exhausted, she decides to move her family elsewhere, as it is not worth risking any further. Both females bear the marks of the battle, but the dance of death has clarified who stays. The territory is now marked with her scent, while the loser continues her journey in search of a new home. Each puma needs a vast territory that can cover 150 to 400 square kilometers. By hunting herbivores like deer and moose, the puma helps control the prey population, thus protecting vegetation and preventing soil erosion. However, the presence of the puma in the Rockies is also shrouded in mystery and legend. The puma avoids attention. It hides in the shadows of the forest, moving as silently as a ghost gliding through the mountains. Locals believe that the puma's roar in the night is a reminder of nature. Humans must respect the space of the wild kings or face the consequences. In the majestic peaks of the Rockies, where the wind is the only companion, a unique creature shines: the mountain goat. With its snow-white fur and elegant bearing, it stands out for its agility and endurance. They are like silent snowflakes gliding along vertical cliffs in places where no other being would dare set foot. The mountain goat is not a common goat. With an average height of 1 meter from the shoulder and a weight ranging between 45 and 130 kilograms, its robust appearance contrasts with the lightness of its movements. Its short but strong legs are equipped with unique hooves. 2 hard, sharp, cloven toes ensure grip on the rock, while soft pads provide additional friction. This adaptation allows them to scale almost vertical cliffs with slopes up to 60 degrees while maintaining perfect balance. They not only inhabit the highest peaks, but also climb continuously to search for food. They search for items like tender shoots and lichens hidden between the cracks, where no predator can follow their steps. The sun rises slowly over the Rocky Mountains, bathing the snowy peaks in golden tones. On a rugged cliff, a herd of mountain goats begins its day. They move silently along narrow ledges, searching for shoots and lichens. But life in the heights is never simple. The wind blows hard, and a kid loses its balance for a moment. Before danger arrives, its mother quickly approaches and pushes it back to the safe zone. The severity of the Rockies spares no one. A single misstep can turn the cliff into an abyss, and the young kids must learn to survive from their very first days. The mountain goat not only faces extreme cold, but also predators like the puma and the golden eagle. These majestic birds with wingspans of up to 2.3 meters usually target the kids. They dive from above at speeds up to 240 kilometers per hour, searching for an opportunity. In the most critical moments, the agility and precision of the mountain goat demonstrate why they are masters of survival. A well-directed headbutt from the mother can force even the boldest eagle to retreat. It is November, and the moose has found a place to feed just in time. The snow follows the moose's footsteps as it flees from winter, but the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep does not. They stay here all winter on the slopes and cliffs, where the wind prevents snow from accumulating. Unlike most animals in the Rockies, a bighorn sheep can weigh up to 140 kilograms. It possesses enormous spiral horns that sometimes measure 1 meter and weigh more than 14 kilograms. These horns are formidable weapons in tense battles between males. However, the bighorn sheep is not an aggressive creature. They spend most of their time grazing in high mountain meadows, places that most other animals cannot access. Now they move together toward the trail as the bighorn sheep begin a battle, a struggle for territory and dominance featuring these majestic warriors. The males waste no time and go straight to the confrontation, determined to prove who is the strongest. Their enormous horns clash with force as they suddenly ram the opponent. The sound of the impact resonates with such intensity that it shakes the valley. The battle does not end after a single charge. Each attack is a test of endurance and will. The other rams watch in silence, acting as spectators in this duel of honor. Finally, the strongest remains standing. The loser, although stripped of his right to dominance, withdraws with his dignity intact. This is not a defeat, but an essential part of the natural cycle. From the horns that clash in the high mountains to the resilient steppes in the prairies, every movement reflects the wisdom of God. He has given each species its own strength to preserve life. The life of the bighorn sheep does not only revolve around battles. To survive in this extreme environment, they have developed extraordinary skills. They can climb heights of more than 3,000 meters, crossing almost vertical cliffs to stay out of reach of their main predator, the puma. Any danger detected from a distance of more than half a kilometer will trigger their survival instinct. Today, as the cold wind brings the threat of a lurking puma, the bighorn sheep quickly scale the steep slopes. The height becomes their defensive weapon. In these terrains, only they can move with safety. Far from the majestic peaks and rugged cliffs of the Rockies lies a completely different world, the Canadian prairies. The sky stretches endlessly while the golden fields stretch to the horizon. Hundreds of bison move forward slowly, with their heads down, searching for the last shoots of dry grass remaining in the vast landscape. The bison is the largest land animal in North America, standing out for its impressive size. It can weigh up to 1,000 kilograms and measure more than 3 meters. In these lands, where the temperature frequently drops below minus 30 degrees, its thick double-layered fur is the best defense against the relentless winter cold. Its powerful head and shoulders are designed to push snow aside and dig into the earth, exposing the grass shoots hidden under the ice. But that strength does not represent aggressiveness. Each slow and heavy step of the bison carries the weight of thousands of years of history. Winter on the prairie is a relentless test, as the bison must move continuously to find food. On a frigid winter morning, a herd of more than 50 bison silently crosses the snow-covered prairies. Leading them is an adult male. With his horns curved toward the sky, he uses his strength to push aside the thick layers of snow and earth. Gradually, the resilient grasses appear, becoming an invaluable source of life for the entire herd. But not everything is easy, as the small and fragile young bison are protected in the middle of the group. They attempt to keep pace with the herd in the middle of a fierce snowstorm. Although protected by the massive bodies of the adults, the cold wind remains extremely severe, leaving them with only one option: keep moving forward. An ancient Lakota legend tells that the bison were sent by the gods to teach humans about gratitude and balance with nature. Under the vast sky at the border between Canada and the United States, the majestic Niagara Falls cascade with impressive force. Formed by three great falls, the Horseshoe Falls, the American Falls, and the Bridal Veil Falls. Niagara is a true natural wonder. Every second, more than 3,000 tons of water fall from a height of more than 50 meters. A mystical mist rises, blending with the sun to form vibrant rainbows, making it an irresistible invitation. Every year, more than 12 million people from all over the world come to admire this spectacle of nature. The power of the water reaches deep into the human heart. Canada's Atlantic coast is a world of endless waves. Icebergs float silently while abundant life hides in the frigid waters. Here, life and death occur at the rhythm of nature. Marine species like grey seals write dramatic stories every day. They have rounded bodies, large eyes, and extremely sensitive whiskers. The grey seal can measure up to 2.5 meters and weigh more than 300 kilograms. Its massive size is not an obstacle. On the contrary, its flexibility turns it into an advantage. They spend most of their lives swimming along the Atlantic coast, diving down to 70 meters to search for fish, squid, and other small marine beings. However, the ocean is not always a peaceful refuge. Under the cold waters, confrontations with orcas are inevitable. The grey seal is the primary prey of the ocean's most feared predator. Underwater chases are a test of constant tension. To escape certain death, the seal's only option is to trust its agility. Despite speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour, seals cannot escape. With superior intelligence, orcas turn each hunt into a relentless challenge. At least this time, the seal has escaped. Indigenous peoples of the Atlantic coast have believed for centuries that the grey seal is a gift granted by the Creator to maintain balance in nature. Ancestral stories tell that every time a seal escapes from the clutches of death, it is a testimony of divine mercy and God's protective power. The ice floe they climb onto is not just a refuge. It symbolizes that even in the most adverse circumstances, there is always hope. From afar, the waves caress the sand while seabirds unfold their wings in the sky. That is the beauty of the Atlantic coast, a place where life not only struggles but finds miracles. Nova Scotia stretches out like an impressionist painting. Small fishing villages with vibrant red-roofed houses nestle beside the coast, reflecting the ocean light. The Cabot Trail, a winding road that crosses majestic cliffs, reveals spectacular views. It is a place where heaven and earth meet. In Newfoundland, majestic fjords cut into the sea while icebergs break off from glaciers to form giant masses of ice. In these waters, whales and seals dance in a unique spectacle of nature. Prince Edward Island captivates with its characteristic red coasts and vast fields that change with every season. There is spring full of life, radiant summer, autumn tinged with golden and warm orange tones, and winter resting under the veil of white snow. New Brunswick invites you to venture into its primeval forests. Above all, the Atlantic coast of Canada is a wonderful melody that cannot be ignored, captivating anyone who admires it. Canada, from the majesty of the Rockies to the intensity of the Atlantic coast, tells a story of unstoppable natural vitality. Polar bears move silently across drifting ice floes. Caribou migrate thousands of kilometers, and orcas fight against ocean storms. Each species is a note in the symphony of life. However, behind this beauty, the melodies of nature are being silenced. This is due to the challenges caused by humans and environmental change. It is in witnessing these losses that we understand how precious creation is in the eyes of God. He has granted life not to be destroyed, but to be preserved and valued. For example, a polar bear searches for seal tracks, its only source of food to accumulate fat and survive the Arctic winter. But the ice melts too soon. In 2023, the surface area of Arctic sea ice decreased to only 4 million square kilometers, which is a reduction of 40% compared to the 1980s. As the ice season shortens, the bear's hunting time has been reduced by almost 30 days a year, forcing them to swim longer distances to find food. According to a study by the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, some polar bears have swum more than 700 kilometers without rest searching for firm ice. This extreme effort causes great energy expenditure, increasing the mortality rate in cubs by more than 20% in the last 2 decades. If this trend continues, more than 30% of the polar bear population could face extinction by 2050. To the south, the largest caribou herd in North America, the Bathurst herd, reached 470,000 individuals in the 1980s. Today, that figure is less than 15,000, a drop of 96% due to the destruction of their traditional migration routes by mining and road construction. A caribou leads the herd forward through deep snow. The desolate landscape still does not show a safe path. The summer grasslands that used to be green are now occupied by oil wells and mines. The caribou herd is forced to travel longer distances to find refuge, increasing the risk of exhaustion and death, especially among the young. Under the blue and cold waters of the Atlantic, a grey seal emerges to the surface. Its large eyes seek fresh air, but reality is far from that peace. According to the 2024 WWF report, more than 90% of the grey seals analysed had plastic in their stomachs or were entangled in it. Small pieces of plastic that seem harmless cause serious damage to their digestive system. As a consequence, grey seals suffer a reduced hunting capacity and face high mortality rates. In areas near Nova Scotia, the grey seal population has decreased by more than 15% in the last 5 years. In the interior of Canada, rivers that used to be full of salmon are now silent. The amount of salmon returning to spawn has decreased by more than 50% in the last 2 decades. This is due to overfishing and the increase in water temperature. This not only threatens the survival of the salmon, but also endangers the grizzly bear, the symbol of Canada's natural power. A grizzly stands beside an almost dry river, frustrated by the absence of salmon swimming against the current. With each insufficient fishing season, the mother bear must travel longer distances searching for food. This leads to exhaustion and reduces her opportunities to raise her cubs. Furthermore, conflict between bears and humans has increased by 25% since 2010. Each piece that disappears from this ecosystem leaves a void that is difficult to fill. This loss destabilizes the entire symphony of life. Will humanity be able to listen and act before this symphony is only a distant echo of a lost past? Faced with the challenges suffered by Canada's ecosystems, conservation efforts have become rays of hope in the middle of the night. Governments, organizations, and local communities are working together to protect nature. They protect wildlife and seek to restore the balance in the symphony of life. That hope is also a gift from the Creator. He does not stop placing responsibility, mercy, and the desire to protect the living world He has granted us into the human heart. From the Arctic to the Atlantic coast, Canada has established more than 37 national parks. These parks protect more than 12% of its land surface and inland waters. One of the most prominent parks is Wapask National Park, located near Churchill, Manitoba. This place provides a safe habitat for more than 100 polar bears each year. Recent studies reveal that the survival rate of polar bear cubs has increased by 15% since park management became stricter. On the Atlantic coast, areas like the Sable Island National Park Reserve not only protect the coast, but also support more than 300 grey seals. Efforts to reduce plastic pollution in the area have helped decrease the mortality rate of grey seals by 10% in the last 5 years. The future of these precious lives begins to find answers. The Caribou Conservation Project, which brings together dozens of indigenous communities and conservationists, has successfully restored more than 15,000 hectares of boreal forest. This restoration covers a crucial migration route. Thanks to this effort, the caribou population in Quebec has increased by 12 individuals in the last 3 years. In the rivers of British Columbia, wild salmon restocking programs are bearing fruit. More than 500,000 salmon fry were released into the Fraser River in 2023. This effort brings hope not only for the grizzly, but for other aquatic species that depend on this food chain. Although these achievements are encouraging, the road to conservation is still long. It is the moment when each person can make a difference. Reduce plastic use, participate in wildlife protection programs, or simply share knowledge to inspire those around them. The adventure of exploring nature and the giants that dominate Canada does not end here. Join us in the mission to protect the natural world. Share your impressions in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the wonderful adventures to come. If you wish to explore more stories full of emotion, continue accompanying us in the next episodes. Wild Costa Rica, fascinating creatures in the mystical jungle. Patagonia, the last wild ecosystem on Earth. See you soon.